Hello everyone and welcome back to Dragalia Foundry, a fan channel where everything Dragalia Lost can be found. This video is going to be a quick look at Trials of the Mighty, where this week we're battling against Thor. This new mode just released today, and in it, you battle past Dragalia Lost bosses to earn conviction and devotion items, which are used to unlock the mana spirals of Gala adventurers. So this week the boss is Thor, and you're able to earn items to help unlock the mana spiral for Gala Yuden. Also from this mode you get things like Orichalcum, Rainbow Orbs, and Tier 3 and Tier 4 Elemental Orbs, so this is a pretty nice new mode to farm up and at the very least do your dailies for to make sure you're getting those conviction items and dragon scales from the daily bonus. You're going to want to do this on the hardest difficulty you can. You don't have to do the easier difficulties first, so go for Master for your daily bonus if you haven't done this yet. And unlike in other daily modes, you can actually stockpile the daily bonuses here for up to 3 days, and whenever you redeem them, whatever Trial of the Mighty boss, so to speak, is active at that time is who you're going to collect these special rewards for. So if you save up your dailies and use them next week, then that's going to be Poseidon instead of Thor here. As for my thoughts on this mode, I like the materials you can get from it. I think that it kind of fulfills a need that I talked about in my 2.5 year anniversary predictions video, where I said, when are we going to get the master difficulty for the elemental ruins, so that we can make sure we're getting our rainbow orbs, our tier 3 and tier 4 orbs on a consistent basis. And at the time, that seemed like a good solution to me, just have a harder difficulty with better drops, and make it easy enough to auto skip ticket every day. But I think that this is an attempt to do that, to give players some of the materials they need more of to finish out their Halidom and their weapon bonuses, but using slightly more exciting content than just another layer to the elemental ruins. So I appreciate it from a drops and rewards standpoint, and mechanically these are pretty cool bosses. This feels sort of like the next iteration of our void battles, where it's kind of medium difficulty content. The suggested might values are really high, but I don't think you should feel too intimidated by those. You can clear this with lower mights, and because they're just suggested, there's no type of formal might gate, so you can attempt this regardless of your might level, but it is going to be harder if you haven't built up your weapons and your roster here. The roster piece is particularly important because the way that Trials of the Mighty are set up is there are restrictions on the weapon types and the elements of adventures you can bring. Interestingly, the devs chose to restrict it to 3 weapon types per Trial of the Mighty instead of 4. 4 you would think would be more of a default because you have 4 adventurers on a team. That lets you run completely different weapon types, different co-abilities without any overlap, assuming that you don't have any characters with special co-abilities, of course. So I was a little bit surprised to see that choice. That's more of an aggressive move, I feel, to sort of push players toward crafting more weapons, building more characters, that sort of thing. But the other big piece as far as restricting what types of adventures do well in these trials is that this has Curse of Nihility. And I don't really like that, to be honest. I feel like Curse of Nihility, I have no big problems with it mechanically. I think that it's okay in Sinister Dominion because that's the gimmick, that's the thing that goes with Sinister Dominion. But here in Trials of the Mighty, I just find myself wondering, why is this happening? And my big issue with Curse of Nihility is not so much how it works, but just it's not at all clear what's exempt and what isn't exempt. I think that if energy, skill shift, and all unique type of personal buffs were exempt, it would be a lot cleaner and a lot more consistent, but as of things are, I just feel like Curse of Nihility is just too confusing. Having said that, the drops here are good, the rupees are good. Definitely use gold Fafnirs for this one to get your 300k every single day, especially if you're playing co-op here. And let's switch over to co-op now and do our first master clear in co-op as well. So for solo there, I did an auto. For co-op, there are some cheese clears where you can clear in less than 10 seconds using Alberius and Arsene. I just did a regular clear in quick play for my first clear, so nothing quite that fast, and definitely made some mistakes. Outside of the context of auto, this is actually somewhat of a technically interesting fight. You want a high hit count for the hammer attack that Thor does to diminish the damage that will deal, so over damage shared skills, Zaina are particularly good at getting rid of that hit count. Galen Knott's another really good shared skill for that. It's also just a good one to unlock anyway because it has Dispel at a relatively low cost. Of course, I'm just getting bodied here and paralyzed and things are not going well at all, but luckily my team here is able to kind of carry me through this just fine. One thing that also I think is pretty cool about this is with the restrictions on characters, you do see some more interesting units that you don't always see, but I think that's, I don't know, I just still feel like it's not clear enough what's allowed and what's not allowed as far as Curse of Nihility. That's my big issue overall. And other than that, I do like seeing the variety. I like the kind of characters that are being brought to this, and I think that's kind of fun. As far as the rewards in terms of the mana spirals for Gala Adventurers, Gala Yuden looks like he's gotten a slight upgrade, and part of his upgrade is to add some amps on his second skill, which is another new mechanic that seems designed just intentionally around Curse of Nihility, and just because it's a sort of Gen 2 style buff, it gets a pass, and it's a way of selling new adventurers, that sort of thing. So I'm not loving that either, but all in all, I feel like this isn't something I asked for. It's not necessarily something I needed, and I don't mind that it's here. It's going to give me something new to do. So I can't really be too upset or unhappy with this mode either. Like, I do want these rewards to finish off some of my weapon copies, maybe go for the 9th Unbinds with some of that Orichalcum, and basically just finish off my Elemental Altered levels as well, which I do have a few left. Otherwise, you do get some nice daily bonuses for a while, so similar to what we saw with Void Battles. I still think that this is kind of like the next iteration of that. And you are going to get some good Wormite for just doing Trials of the Mighty over the next several weeks, so for 20 days or so, and I think that's pretty cool. Let's take a look at the upgrade page so that we can see Gala Yuden's Spiral as a way to close things out. From what I saw here, it's going to take a total of 3 weeks of just getting Thor bonuses if you want to finish out Gala Yuden's Spiral. So another thing I think this does is kind of help the devs incentivize buying the double pack, because in the double pack that would mean it takes you 2 weeks instead of 3 weeks. And as you can see here, it still costs Champion's Testament, so not loving that. Even though you do get the Conviction and Devotion items for free, you still need the Champion's Testaments. You still need the other types of resources like Rainbow Orbs and Tier 4 Orbs. So still fairly expensive, but anyway, y'all, that's enough about Trials of the Mighty. That is going to do it for today. Thank you as always for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Take care, and I'll see you next time.